Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio, and today I am creating a card out of watercolor, and I saw a video a little while ago on a waterfall, and I do not have that image in front of me. I am just going from memory and going to attempt to do this waterfall in watercolor. And I'm sorry you can't see my palette, it's way off to the side. But I just added a little blue for the sky, and this is a little mix of green for some foliage around the edges of my waterfall. It's kind of a pond with a waterfall at the end. And I'm sorry you didn't see me put in a little bit of that dark area, but I just added some darker color, sort of the beginning of the rocks and stuff in the water area. And I'm just using a natural sponge to get texture from my foliage. I thought I'd try that out. I saw somebody paint with that, and I thought it worked really well. I don't think I quite have the technique down, but I do like the texture that it creates. So I do go in and add more with the brush to get some darker areas. Well, and I go over here and I blot, and I'm like, don't know what I'm thinking, because watercolor dries so much lighter that it wouldn't have hurt anything to just let it sit and dry. I'm still trying to get more depth in my foliage. I think I need to take a class on foliage. So here I am trying to create some rocks, and I saw a technique using part of a credit card, so I thought I would try that, and you just kind of scrape it. I think it worked in the bigger areas. In the little areas, it just smooshed all the color together. See, like right here, it just kind of all becomes one. These are all supposed to be rocks around the edges of this stream or whatever we've got going here. I thought that particular rock looked too straight, so I had to add something to it. Rocks are never that flat, are they? So I painted this fully intending to cut it down, like crop it, well, and I do, crop it down to fit on a card, and you'll probably be appalled that I do that. I don't think the cropping helps, but I don't think it hurt either, because I'm not really happy with the results of this painting. I think the the river is too straight and it kind of rounds, so it doesn't really look like a river. The brush technique I'm doing right now is called scrumbling. At least that's what somebody told me. And it's supposed to give you some good texture for your foliage. I'm not sure I'm convinced. I usually end up dotting in color. And here I dot, and then I blot, which I shouldn't have blotted. I should just let it sit. Don't blot. Stop it. You learn from practice, right? Just keep practicing. Someday we'll get that foliage down. I really want to have more depth in my rocks and my water, so we're going to do this whole thing over again. Make it darker. And I didn't do a sketch either, so it probably would have been better if I'd done a sketch or had a reference photo. It would have given me positioning of the waterfall or the rocks or the cascades or something. I think the painting would have made a little bit more sense. And here I'm trying to create streaks where the waterfall is coming down. It kind of works. I still want more depth in my foliage. Still feeling pretty flat to me. I don't think it looks like it's going back, like the river's going back. So I do keep trying to darken the background area a little bit. And here I'm just kind of trying to get some shading on the water, so it looks like it has depth. supposed to be a little cascade there. And right here. I'm just smooshing my brush so I can get little single bristle things going. And again, trying to darken back there so it looks like it's going back into the distance. I was hoping maybe that would work to scrape that down, but it doesn't really. And now I decided that my sky is just not dark enough. I'm leaving light areas to be clouds. Just trying to have something, give it some depth. Darkening that back there again. Does it look like it's going back yet? And here I'm just trying to put level water at the bottom, and then try to lighten up, like lift some of the color in that area that's hopefully kind of splashy, misty water area. This is a stiff brush I'm using to kind of lift and scrub that off. Alright, so here's the part that I said might scare you a little bit. I decide, well, I already knew before I started that I was going to cut it down. And I was hoping that trimming it down would help the image, because I was, like I said, I'm not really happy with it. But I'm not really happy with it in the end either. But it's just paper, right? We can try this process all over again, which I may have to do. I was measuring my background paper. It's going to be the border. And then I mark it, and I went up a quarter instead of down a quarter. So it ends up the wrong size. Do a very good job of tearing that. There we go. So here you see me holding it up. Yeah, my math was like way off. Instead of subtracting, I added. So here we're gonna do it again. Yeah, more and more of the image is going bye-bye. I tried not to have the waterfall too centered after taking the sides off, because composition is better if it's not quite there. See, so here I'm looking, and you know, you can hardly see that blue around the edges. So I decided I'll just get everything the right size. And then I have some extra blue paper, so I will put it on top of the extra blue paper that's not cut down quite that small. and try it all again. So I'm going to tape it down, and you don't see the whole thing. I tape it down and then I trim it with a paper trimmer so that I have the border that I want. And make sure it's going to be good and stuck down. And then we're going to stick it on the card. And there we go. So what do you think? If you liked it, please hit like, feel free to comment, share, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.